Hi, everybody. In your AMP2 endocrine system, there is a lab about caffeine, and it talks about an article. The article is posted in Canvas, and you can read the whole thing, but it's 14 pages long. You should only have to read the abstract, really, to get an understanding about the article, but I thought I would go over it briefly. The article looks like this, and again, you should be able to read the abstract and get most of the information. However, this is what the scientists did in this lab. First of all, caffeine is a molecule that mimics epinephrine. And epinephrine, you should know, is a hormone that is released from the adrenal gland during stressful situations or activation of the sympathetic nervous system. It does lots of things, include increase your heart rate, your breathing rate. It slows down the digestive system. It slows down kidney filtration. It makes you more alert. It dilates your pupils. But too much caffeine or excess or overdose can also cause some harmful effects. So the scientists in this particular experiment wanted to test the effects of caffeine on rats. So in this experiment, this is a picture of what rats might look like in a scientific lab. They usually keep them in cages that look similar to this. In this experiment, they used Zucker rats, which are white, and they used all male rats. And the rats get fed rat chow, and that's what this is on the top of the cage there. That is basically, it looks like dog food, contains all the nutrients that a rat needs. So in this experiment, they had two groups of rats. Each group had 16 rats. And the first group got regular rat chow, and this group was labeled C group. The other group got rat chow, but that group also got beef tallow, which is fat, and high fructose corn syrup added to their rat chow. Okay, and that group was labeled H. And they got this for 8 weeks. Okay, so they got rat chow. The other guys got rat chow plus fat plus sugar. And you can imagine what happened, right? The ones that got the beef fat and the extra sugar, they got really fat compared to the ones that got regular chow. Okay, and they measured things. They measured glucose, they measured weight, they measured various liver enzymes, they measured heart activity, they measured serum lipids, a lot of the stuff that they would measure in people, various metabolic things. After 8 weeks, they split each group in half. So they took the chow group and they took the 8 rats, they left them on the rat chow, and they took the other 8 rats and they added caffeine to that group. They took the fat ones, the ones that were getting beef tallow and sugar, and they split that group in half, and one group continued to get that same diet, but the other half got that diet plus caffeine. They didn't overdose them. They gave them about equivalent of 2 cups of coffee a day, between 2 and 3 cups of coffee worth of caffeine per day, for another 8 weeks. Okay, they called the group that got caffeine plus the chow the CC group, and the high group that had the tallow and the fat and the caffeine the HC group. So now we have 4 groups: C, CC, H, and HC. And they did this again for another 8 weeks. So after 8 weeks, this graph is measuring their weight. The high fat sugar group, of course, weighed the most. And the chow group, again, continued to gain weight. But interestingly, if you gave them caffeine, both groups that got caffeine compared to their original group lost weight. In fact, the group that the high fat and sugar group was nearly down, it was actually below the regular chow group. Okay, so the caffeine kind of saved them from the weight gain compared to high fat, high sugar. There's a table in the article, and I printed this article out. It's in your lab manual pocket, but you can also look in the original article. It's a PDF uh, in the Canvas site, but you can look at all the different things that the scientists measured in the 4 different dietary groups. So, for example, the final body weights, they're listed right here in grams. You can measure their BMI, their feed efficiency, their insulin levels, their blood sugar levels. You can look at all these different things, what they measured. And there's a lot of differences, but pretty much the caffeine normalized their data. If they got caffeine, the numbers went back down to close to normal in the regular rat chow diet. It's almost like the caffeine saved them from being abnormal, except their serum lipids. The caffeine didn't seem to help them very much when it came to um, triglyceride levels. You look that right here, triglycerols, again, zero point 0.4 and 0.5 for the chow diet, but back up at, triple that in the high fat, high sugar diets. So what happened? Rats given caffeine in the high fat, high sugar diet lost weight, had less abdominal fat, lower blood pressure, and improved glucose tolerance compared to those rats that did not get caffeine. Okay. Again, to remind you, you should have gone through the data analysis slideshow and learned a little bit about the scientific method and independent, dependent, and control variables. In this experiment, the independent variable, what we changed was the 4 different kinds of diets over the time. The dependent variable is what you measure or observed, and there are a bunch of different things were measured: body weight, serum triglycerides, blood glucose. What you measure is the dependent variable. Almost always that's what's on the y-axis, and the independent variable, what you're changing, is across the x-axis across the bottom. And the control variables are what you keep the same. All the rats were the same breed. They were all male. They were all in the same kind of cages. They were all in the same room, same humidity, same lighting. They all had clean water, the same type of bedding. Okay, the control variables, what you keep the same. So you don't want anything to influence what you're measuring, except for the fact that they got caffeine or no caffeine, for example. Okay, so in this rat experiment, the diets were the independent variable. What you measured was the dependent, for example, blood sugar or their weight, and the control variables are what you kept the same, or what was kept the same. So in the experiment in your lab book, the first several questions are about this caffeine rat lab, and then you're going to do a caffeine experiment on yourself. Okay, you're going to come up with a hypothesis. What does caffeine do to your heart rate? You're going to identify your independent and dependent variables, what your control variables are, and we're not going to control as much when it comes to people because we can't put ourselves in cages. And you're going to put that data into the Teams site, and you're going to collect it as a class and then determine whether your hypothesis was proven true or false. Okay, and again, we'll have a short discussion, or you'll think about what kinds of things weren't very well controlled because we were people. Could we do things to improve this experiment? What happens when the results come out a little bit iffy? Okay, so think about those things when you're putting together that kind of information, and what kind of information you're going to get out of it, knowing that all of us did it slightly differently.